What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Where the Locals Sk8. I'm your host once again, OG Skate Show. This is a podcast where we get to know local skaters on and off the board. And of course, we have today the Couch Boys. Both of them are in the house. Victor Castillo and David Peralta.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Vote for me for president.
And now let's introduce our guest this week. We have Ben Allen in the house.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Dude, thank you for joining us, bro.
Oh, for sure.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I have a question, Ben. Is there another skateboarder named Ben Allen, like a professional skateboarder, or is that you? I have a question about that. Cause I had heard of Ben Allen, and I even looked it up, and there's a picture of a skateboarder, Ben Allen, but I'm not too sure if it's you.
There's another guy, but he's more of like an artist, like surfer dude. You kind of have to, if you Google like my name and put skateboard after it, you'll have to go like pretty far down before something will pop up. But I don't think there's like another pro with that name.
Okay.
It's not like I'm pro or anything.
No, because I was thinking the same thing. Because when we were driving over here, I was like, Ben Allen, and I was like, I think he's an OG pro. I swear I've heard that name before.
I mean,
sounds familiar.
he has a pro-sounding name, that's for sure. Ben Allen, man. That's for sure, dude. And then, of course, I like your Instagram name, 1991 to Infinity.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so rad, bro, because that takes me back to when, like Chocolate and Girl, 1993.
Yeah, that's the year I started skating was 91.
91?
Yeah.
Okay.
No
Shout
way.
out to that.
No way, that's the year I was born, 91.
That's wild.
That is crazy. All right. Let everybody know what city you're repping.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one, I'd say, because originally from New York, but right now I guess I'm in West Covina, so I'm kind of repping Covina right now.
You're repping Covina?
Yeah.
You're originally from New York?
I'm originally from New York, yeah.
What
Great.
part of New York?
I was born in Brooklyn, and then when I was about 8 or 9, my folks, we moved about 45 minutes outside of the city to a place called Westchester County.
Westchester County? Okay.
I have a question. Since you mentioned Brooklyn, did you ever run into Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G. for his laptop? Or not, nothing like that, like back in the day?
Nothing like that. I didn't start getting into hip-hop until a little later, but nah, I never met Biggie.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. That's cool. But shout out to Brooklyn, man. That's
I
cool. A
did
lot of
meet
rap come up.
Inspector Deck at a Wu-Tang show. And I got a flick with him, and he's like my favorite MC of all time, so that was kind of sick.
Inspector Deck?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Shout out to
Shout
that.
out.
Shout out to that.
I have a question too. Coming from East Coast lifestyles and then moving over here to the West Coast lifestyle, did you feel the difference, or was it like in the cultures and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think 'cause I moved out here to the West Coast at first when I was like 19. And then I moved back to the East Coast. Then I moved back out to the West Coast in 2008. Not even from like a skate perspective, but just like culturally, like there's a kind of like East Coast humor that people like don't get at first out here, to where like I'll say things that people think are funny, and they're actually like that I think are funny, and they're like offended by them.
Yeah, they sound disrespectful.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's not, and
Right.
it's like it's gotten into some interesting situations, and a lot of uncomfortable silences at social events.
I could see that because their humor is a little different, man. They'll be like, "Look at you over there, walking over there, looking like and then they'll be like, "Get them," like they just keep, they just bag on people, and then and it's not really like we're trying to like really start something with you. It's just like
It's just more like of a tough love kind of thing.
kinda, yeah.
They're just like, it's like hypothetically like the worst case scenario is funny if it doesn't actually happen, but like from someone else, they're like, I don't think that's funny at all. That would be terrible. And it's like, whoa, sorry, no, I don't think it's funny. Like I'm normal.
Yeah.
I was just asking because and then when you first came at 19, like what year was that?
That would be okay. So I started 90. So that would be 98, 99,
98.
2000. I got here.
Were you already skating at that time?
That's
too?
gonna be my
Yeah.
question. When did you start skating?
All right, 91.
91. Oh, yeah, okay, but I mean, like, was it in New York or?
It was in New York.
It was in New York. And how did you get on the board?
I don't know. It was like I picked up, like, you could rent videos from Blockbuster Video back then.
Shout out to Blockbuster.
And shout out to Blockbuster. And I rented, I don't know, it was one of the old Bones Brigade videos. And I saw that, and I was like, I want to do that. And then I got like a board, which is from like whatever, like, you know, like toy store. And it was like, I didn't have to learn how I could like skate, like without even like trying. I already knew how to like ride and put my foot on it. And then I started like noticing like older kids and understanding like skate culture a little bit. And then like at that time, you know, where I lived, it was like a predominantly like Caucasian area, and I'm mixed black and white, and it's like I kind of look like I'm black, but I don't talk like I'm black, and I wasn't really fitting in anywhere. And then I kind of started being like accepted by like this subculture, and it was like in '91, like everyone like stuck together, like all the people who were like writing graffiti, like skating, like kids in a punk rock, and it was like, oh, you guys like don't fit in over there, like come on over here. So it was kind of like this place one, and then I'd always grown up like playing sports and been pretty good at them. So it was like this thing where I got to be like do something athletic and also kind of be rebellious at the same time. So and I just like kind of started skating and knew like, oh, like it's a wrap, like this is what I'm gonna do.
That's so cool. Yeah, because back then, like, I love the fact that like skateboarding was well accepted to people that kind of weren't accepted or felt like they weren't accepted for different groups. You know, like I knew a bunch of jocks, but I wasn't a jock. You know, I had people that I knew that were gangsters. I didn't want to go really that route. But the white guys that were skating, I was like, well, I like skateboarding. And then they accepted me in their little crew. And then, you know, I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Because, you know, like me, like I grew up in a, you know, pretty white neighborhood. So I didn't grow up in the hood, you know, but I had made friends that were in there. So yeah. I learned how to, you know, what it was to be in those neighborhoods. But man, you learn pretty quick, like when you have it kind of nice, you know, and you're like, all right, well, I don't really want to go that route, but skateboarding always kept me out of trouble in a way, even though we're kind of terrorizing the streets.
Yeah, or even for me, because my family was like upper middle class, so we were always well off, but being exposed to people from different like socioeconomic circumstances made me more understanding of kind of what someone else is going through. And like, you know, like life looks different for like everyone, you know, and like, you know, you don't know, just kind of not really looking at status or possessions or material objects as, oh, like a scale of judgment for someone's character.
Right. Yeah, skateboarding kind of like didn't allow that too, because we are, if we're learning how to skate, we're falling down, we're both getting hurt. Yeah. We're in the same boat.
From the cops, we're jumping the same fence.
Right. You know what I mean? But you know, but like you said, skateboarding.
At that time, they had that saying, "Skateboarding is not a crime" or stuff like that, right? Because like jumping over a fence, get a skateboarding ticket, skate a skate park without a helmet, skateboarding ticket, and all that kind of stuff, right? And just made skateboarding look bad. Or what would your parents think about you picking up a skateboard when you were young?
They didn't understand it, but they were supportive. Like, you know, they were like, they wanted to get me out of the house for the summer, and I'm like, well, I want to go to Woodward, so they like sent me to Woodward, which was sick. And
that's
then,
cool.
Was that the Lake Tahoe one?
No, back then it was on the East Coast, so that one was in Pennsylvania. But you know, obviously, like, you know, I think they did the best they could as like parents. Like, obviously they wanted like a well-adjusted normal kid, and like they didn't get one, but they kind of did the best to like love me like unconditionally. So that was cool. They never tried to be like, well, we don't want you doing this, we want you to do this, but they would kind of like, remember how good you used to be at tennis? And I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean,
I would think any skater parent never got a well-adjusted kid, because we were that subculture that just got into the things that people didn't think were cool, but we did it because we thought it was cool and it was fun to us.
Right.
And now, from what we do, and all of society think it's cool now, and it's accepted.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable how accepted it is. Sometimes.
Kind of is, isn't it? I'm like, let's make skateboarding a crime again.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but I mean, it kind of took the fun away from it a little bit, but I do enjoy that it's more inclusive now. Like, everybody can do it.
Yeah,
you know?
and there's still that like subculture, and there's still like people, like a lot of the people like I skate with, like through pawn shop and stuff, that still kind of, it feels like skateboarding is supposed to.
Yeah.
It's not like super like hyped up, you know. And like what I like to say, like, dude, I would trade every skate park we have to have downtown Los Angeles unknobbed like it was in '96.
Ooh. Like, yeah, okay.
Every one of them.
You know, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, are you the only child, or how many siblings do you
I have a sister.
Oh, so just two?
Yeah, just me and my sister.
Okay, older or younger?
Younger. She's 6 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Rebecca.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Shout
she's
out.
the sick one. Yeah.
So what were you, you say you were playing sports before you picked up a skateboard? What were you playing, tennis?
I was playing tennis and baseball. Yeah.
Oh, so you had a good swing.
Yeah.
You're batting and hitting the tennis balls.
Yeah, that's funny. Like, I remember it, and it was like right at the turning point to where I was like skating and like playing baseball. And there was like this one game, and I tied the game by like hitting one out, like, and clearing the bases. And then I ended the game by getting picked off. And then on the way back, the kids on the bus wouldn't talk to me. And I was just like, it's a wrap.
Yeah. That kind of, but
like, we would have even had a chance to win the game if it wasn't for me. So
Right.
it's like, and then it's just like, oh wow, like, okay.
yeah, I can see that. But like, I don't feel like skateboarders would do that to you. If you didn't bring home your trick that day, we're not going to talk to you on the ride home.
I mean, you might take a little heat for it.
I mean, depending if, like, you know,
Depends on the sesh.
I could see if you're making like a video, I could see that. Like,
I mean,
but
us being in that boat right now, how we're making a video, because we went and a lot of us walked away empty-handed yesterday. I always tell the guys, because I'm holding the camera, I'm like, don't worry, dude.
Yeah.
There's next weekend.
Yeah.
The spot's gonna be here unless it gets knobbed. But I got the tools to knob it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've, had the privilege of like filming with like RB Umali, and like some high profile filmers, and like in those situations, and then like when it's on a sesh with like a lot of like guys who are also trying to clip up. I filmed with like Eric Hatch, who like filmed a lot of Fulfill the Dream with the old Shorties team when I lived in Santa Barbara, and like it's like different, like even like when you're out with like the homies and like kind of be having like a little exposure to like skating on that level. It's like it's some people thrive in it and some people don't, and I got lucky because I'm not really like a under pressure, like, oh, the pressure's on, I'm gonna perform. It's more of like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel that day, and I got lucky enough to get like in some videos back in the day. But like being on those sessions for the first time were like pretty hairy.
Okay. Are you goofy or regular?
I'm regs.
Regular. Okay. What videos were you part of?
A lot of RB Umali. He was the primary filmer for Zoo York, and he would do his independent videos called EST. So I was in a couple of those.
Okay.
And then this was before like Instagram, IG, YouTube, and there are like independent video producers that were coming out. So I've been in like a couple Logics, like a couple East Coast videos.
That's dope.
I was in a deluxe video. I was in the Church of Skating video. That was like the shop that kind of supported Shorties in Santa Barbara, and this was all like late 90s, like early 2000s.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, do you remember landing your first kickflip?
I don't.
No?
I remember the only trick I remember is like my first ollie up the curb, because I had a Frankie Hill Bulldog board, and it was at my grandma's house, and I'd always take my skateboard wherever I went. And I remember finally ollieing up the curb, but like I don't like my first 50-50 grind, like my first board, like I don't like remember ever like learning tricks, like even tricks that are like, like, oh, Ben always does this trick, like I couldn't tell you like what it was like to like learn it.
Yeah, I mean, some people like that's everything to them, and then sometimes like you start doing them so much, you're like, I just don't remember when first time I did it. I just know that I can do them now.
Yeah.
Well, being in the first like video, like how the ones you were saying with all these high profile filmers, your first time ever coming out, was it like one of those like hype moments where you just, because I know these dudes, it's just kind of like a normal thing, or is it, you know?
It was like a little misleading, because the first video I want to say came out in was a deluxe tour video called Narcotica.
Okay.
And then it was like, I think that was like 98. And then I did a trick like I was like super hyped on, because at the time it was like, you know, I am like front side flipped over like an 8-stair handrail, and I was kind of like, that was kind of like on like a level for back then that was pretty high. And I remember when it came out in the video, I was like, okay, I'm going pro. Like, you know, I didn't really know how it worked. I thought like, all right, like cool,
it.
like this is it. Like
Here, I'm in the video, right?
Yeah. I'm expecting my name on a board soon.
Any day now.
Any day. Now, were you on a team at the time, like, or on a skate shop or anything?
I've never really had any like major board sponsors, except in like '96, I was getting flowed by Airwalk and this company called Evol, which was like what 8th Street turned into.
Okay.
But I've always had kind of like little like local board sponsors. I thought, you know, it was like after that like deluxe tour, like Mickey Ray is the team manager at the time, said like, when you get out to Cali, like hit me up, like we'll get you those boxes. Like I tried calling them, never got those boxes. But
yeah,
you know, so yeah, no, it was never like, you know, like small, like large enough companies to where I would be able to get flown to a contest, or like we're on a trip, we're gonna pay for a skate trip, like so enough of it to like get like a little taste and like be like, all right, it's possible, you know, I could figure out a way to make this happen. And you know, for between that and then like teaching skate lessons and like working at like the skate park and stuff like that, I kind of like figured out a way where, you know, like for a good part of my 20s I was like just skating.
and then getting lessons, that was your
That
income?
was my hustle.
Yeah.
Working at the skate park and doing lessons out in Santa
What skate
Barbara.
park would that be?
It was the old Santa Barbara skate park.
Okay, out
and
here.
that was cool because I moved to Santa Barbara because I knew some kid I went to high school with lived there, so that I could stay with him. And it was like right after Fulfill the Dream. So when I was out in Santa Barbara, I was able to skate with like Sammy Baptista and like Jesse Sylvie, and I was on a couple sessions with like Muska, and then
That's dope.
like kind of like a few pros lived in that area. Like I've always been like kind of lucky to always we're like kind of like jumping ahead too, but like always kind of be around like dope skating like growing up.
Yeah. That's dope. You're always kind of in the scene in a way, like where you were at, there's like something was going down.
Yeah,
Dude,
for
that's rad.
whatever reason I was cool enough to like hang out with them.
Did that tap in like too when you were in the East Coast, like how you said you were skating with one of the New York filmers?
Yeah, so I used to, like, by the time I was old enough, I had like older friends who kind of took me under their wing. And we would take the train from where we lived into New York City and like skate the banks.
Brooklyn Banks?
Yeah, like go skating around there. And this was like 95, 96. And then I started taking the train in by myself. And then I just kind of like met people like around there, you know, and I would just skate the banks by myself. And then I was skating it by myself. And I'd always see like the whole like crew, and they'd always leave and go skate like Midtown or whatever. And then like one day, like Quim Cardona was there, and he just like looked at me and goes, "Hey, you want to come with us?" And then like that was another one of those like, "Oh, I made it!" like moments.
That's so
But
rad.
yeah, so I got.
And
to
you're by yourself, so he was like, "Yeah, well, you come with us."
Yeah.
Yeah. If you would have been with the whole crew, might not have happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to that, dude.
I think he would just see me like just there like solo. But then like, and then I was exposed to kind of two very different like genres of skating back then. 'Cause, I would skate the city, and I grew up around like all kind of like the 90s skaters in the city, like Quim Cardona, Rodney Torres, Mike Hernandez, like all like the original zoo guys, like Jeff Pang, like a funny story about that era. Like, do you guys know Stephen Callis?
Yes. I've been mistaken for him.
Yeah. So, like, and I'm like, you know, from the suburbs, like dressing like I was like from New York, but you know.
Yeah.
And we were like at Astor, the Cube, Astor Place, where everyone kicked it after we skated. And like, we're playing, they're like, hey, you want to play skate? I'm like, yeah. And it's like me, like Stephen Callis, like a bunch of dudes. And I'm like fired up because, yeah. And like, I was going right before Stephen. And then like, I do my trick. And then he just looks at me. He goes, nah, it's not my turn. I was like, okay. I was like, yes, sir. Like, you know.
Yep. Sounds like it, man. That's so cool, dude. Yeah.
But then I got sent to boarding school because I wasn't having a great time at school. And then I met like the skaters up there, and I met this guy named Chris Krupa, who's like my lifetime friend. Like, he came to my wedding. And he would sneak me out of boarding school to take me skating. And up there, everyone was like into skating, like big ramps, like, you know, like, oh, can you like 50-50 the vert ramp? Can you like back D the vert ramp? Like, Jim Greco came from that area. And like, I got to see like Tim Upson up there. This other dude, Tato Feliciano, who like rode for Fibro, skated vert like super good. So I was like getting hit with like all this like city skating, and then I'd go up there and I'd see like all this transition skating. So I was kind of, you know, like young, like 17, 18, like getting both, which was like pretty rad.
Yeah, it is, because like few people had a half pipe, you know what I mean? So it's like
you tapped into the hybrid of skateboarding where like I can skate street now and then now I'm learning transition.
Yeah.
Did you
could
learn?
kind of see it in like my I could drop it on vert. Like,
that's so cool.
Vert,
yeah. You
like, I can't do like airs or anything. But
yeah,
like,
but you're comfortable dropping in on it and just getting like, you can go around it. You make your way.
I could get like touch coping, maybe like if it's like not like a crazy one, like maybe like do like some disasters or like a feeble fakie on it.
What would you consider yourself, a street skater or transition skater, vert skater, or all around?
Just a skater.
Just a skater. That's right.
Like whatever. Like, you know, if it's like, except for manuals. Like if like, oh, we're going to the pad, I'll be like, I'm gonna go skate something else. But
go get yourself a coffee.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this one out.
You know?
Except for manuals. But yeah, no, I was always kind of like wanted to just like skate everything, and like I think you could kind of see it like in like how I skate like now, but I kind of hope it comes out a little bit.
You shredded the mini ramp a little bit, you know, before the guys got here. That was fun to watch.
I want to ask too, because I'm kind of like that. Like, I can skate transition and street, and I felt like I like to tell people, if you learn transition, you do not understand how much that it's gonna one up your street skating, because in transition you learn a whole another set of balance that teaches you just not to bail and just stick everything.
Yeah, and it gets you more comfortable skating faster. So naturally, like, you skate street a little faster too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like a good park that has a lot of like flow to it, you know, where it's less work on your legs, because you could like La Habra, for instance. That park for me, in my opinion, flows really good, and it's like less work to get around there now, as opposed to like the Mayberry Park, like they said, like a couple pushes to get to each obstacle.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, to each his own, man. Whatever you enjoy skating, that's what you enjoy skating.
We gotta link up and skate La Habra, because I've always wanted to skate there, and I saw we just took like the helmet rule away, and it's like right on my way coming home. Like, I drive through La Habra coming home from work. So.
What time do you get off of work?
Like 3:30, 4.
I can meet you there, man.
What's up? I get out at the same time. I work right
I
here.
get off at 2:30.
I work right next to Angel Stadium.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I work in
definitely
Cyprus.
do that, man.
Where?
In Cyprus.
Cyprus?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you're on the way back.
Yeah.
I'd be down to make a pit stop. I love that park.
Have you been to like the skate park? Was it Staten Skate Park? Have you been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm remote, so I'm only in the office like 2 days a week, and then
okay.
When I was training, I was like there every day. So when I was there, like, I always like to find my little like lunch break spot. So
that's exactly. It was my lunch break spot.
Stanton, and then Cerritos, which I want to go back there because I like that bank to ledge there.
Cerritos, I don't.
And
remember
then
that
another like little weird one that was out there, but yeah.
There's one by like Knott's Berry Farm as well. I can't remember the name of it right now for some reason, but
The one with the 2 oranges.
No, that
no.
That one's more closer to Anaheim.
Yeah, no, this one's right, kind of like you can see like Knott's Berry Farms, like
The roller coaster.
the drop or whatever they have there. Like
Is
I don't know, it
Monza?
used to be the parachute, but now it's
There's a lot of parks in Anaheim.
yeah,
What else? I like Ponderosa.
Ponderosa.
It's fun.
a little
It's
slick, but it's
It's
fun.
weird transition. I like weird transitions.
Yeah, that's
It's
it is
fun.
scary.
Yeah.
Weird transition's fun for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Weirder, better. Yeah.
I want something smooth.
Well, when you skate weirder transition for some reason, then you hit like nicely skate park stuff. It's not as sketchy because you're like, I just skated the sketchier, weirder thing, so
Yeah.
it's not as bad.
Yeah.
It takes a fear away out of you.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite local spots to hit?
Oh man. Definitely I like P2 a lot.
Yes.
It's mellow. I like the Covina Park. Before the Covina Park was open, I would skate Avocado Heights a lot.
Avocado Heights.
I like.
Is that 4th Ave?
Yeah, Fourth. That's
Okay.
Fourth. I like getting in the streets. You know,
Mhm.
I try to get in the streets on Saturdays. And then like during the week, it's kind of like the locals where I could just like get an hour in by trying
Keep
to,
the legs going.
Yeah, I try to skate like new stuff or go to spots and try to like get clips when I can, like on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. How you liking the new Covina Park?
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. It has 2 good ledges, like, and I think that's like crucial, like to keep the ledge blade sharp.
Oh yeah.
It's got a good hip, it's got transition, and it's got pool coping, you know,
Mhm.
and it's like you could like go there and chill, or if like you get fired up, you could like go there and like try to like handle something sick. So it's like a perfect park.
Yeah, man. It looks fun. I mean, there's some obstacles in there that I probably won't touch, like that little what is it, like a volcano looking thing. I probably won't touch that, but that looks fun. But I really love the pyramid, man. It's super mellow, but it's got boosties in it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it boosts you
You
up.
could
You
float,
don't even
too. Yeah.
even think it will, and it's just like whoop. You're like, oh, I got that kind of air on this thing. So that's fun. And then I really want to learn that little mini, like what is it, spine?
Oh yeah.
That thing looks fun.
The thing is fun.
So but again, the pool. You skate the pool
A little bit.
a little bit.
Putt around in there.
Okay, that's something I want to learn as well.
I want to ask, how do you feel about it? Because I've heard a lot of it. From my buddies that are transition skaters, I've heard negative, but good things about it. Like I hear a lot that the coping sticks out too much for how small it is, or the transition's a little too mellow for how big it is.
Yeah, I could see that. I kind of feel like if there's like a design flaw, I like skating things with imperfections, you know? I don't think it's like a perfectly designed pool, but also it's like when I hear the sound of my trucks on pool coping, all my
sounds
problems go
so
away.
good.
So it's like, I mean, okay, or you could just not have a bowl with pool coping.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, the sound, like you said, that sound that it gives, that when somebody's just like feeble across, or like Smith or whatever they're
Yeah.
doing, like that grind is just everything, dude. It's like that's what makes me excited. Where I go, I gotta learn something. I want to hear that sound on my board.
And I think it's good because you could kind of get that it's not too steep for people who aren't there, but the coping does like stick out a little bit, so that makes it like you kind of almost have to like slap you into your grinds on it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like that's how you have to like grind like a legitimate pool. So I think it's like, you know, if the coping sticks out too much, like figure out how to get on it.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking too. Yeah, I mean,
My response for them, I was like, just give it a couple of years. It'll get grinded down.
Oh yeah, for
It-
sure.
that-
It'll push back when it gets
Yeah.
grinded down.
it either grind down, or you'll end up eventually just getting used to it, and then
Yeah.
you'll be like, I don't even know what I was complaining about.
Yeah.
Same
yeah.
thing happened with me, kind of with Fourth Ave. The first 2 times I went there, I did not like that park. It was too slick for me. But then once I kept going, and I figured out how to be light on my feet and not slide around everywhere, that park became really fun, and it was one of my favorites for like a summer.
Super,
You know?
it's super fun. I like how the transition's a little bigger there too
Oh.
at Fourth. But dude, I skated like Fourth once with like new wheels. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
That is the most sketchiest park.
Worst park for new wheels.
I mean, new wheels, new bearings, and then of course you're gonna be going faster, and then how slick it is there. Yeah. The one thing too, though, the trees sometimes makes a mess at certain times of year.
Yeah.
You know?
The grip tape problem.
There's
Yeah.
all these weird bugs there too.
Oh yeah, the little ones that get stuck together.
Yeah.
I call them the butt bugs.
Yeah, we get during mating season. They're always out there.
I
Yeah,
think it's always mating season for them.
they're always out there.
I was in love.
Yeah,
but-
called the love bug.
And I think the one thing about that park, even in the worst heat of the heat, it was always refreshing there.
You had a good
There's
shade.
a little shade there.
Yeah, it's like, but like you could go like today and like right before like right when sunset's coming down, but it feels fresh.
Yeah.
I
And there's a sloppy curb in the parking lot.
Yeah, the one in the back in the little roundabout. I love that.
I like that curve too.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't slap it, but I can roll onto it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, were you a competitive skater, like competing like in your prime, like joining contests and stuff, or not really?
Yeah, I went to a few. Like I got to skate Tampa Am twice, and then like local contests I would go to.
I wanted to ask, how's that experience of skating Tampa Am, and what year did you skate it?
I skated Tampa Am in '97 and '98, and it was terrifying. It was
it more
crazy.
like crazier than it is nowadays?
I wouldn't say it's crazier than it is now. I think it's more like psychologically how I am. Like, you know, because I look at, for me, skating's more like artistic, and I don't really like get fired up to like beat someone at skateboarding.
Okay.
But I would get like super nervous too, because also it's like, well, I don't really like anything else in this world, so I want to be a pro skater, so this is what I have to do to be one.
That was
In '98, I did like good stuff in practice, but I didn't really have a great run. And I remember when it was like my heat and everyone was waiting, I remember like I felt like I had to go pee like every 2 minutes. And I'd be like, oh man, I gotta pee again. It's like almost like I couldn't like tap into whatever like athletes do when they're in that situation that brings out the best in them in that kind of environment. But it was like it was a fun experience, you know. Also too, just kind of like getting the taste of what it's like, you know, to have someone like send you out there and like pay for your food and like your room, and then
per
like
diem, yeah.
telling them you didn't make the cut after they shelled out that money kind of sucks. But
But hey, you got the opportunity to go, man. That's everything. At least you tried.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
at that time, there was big names up there too, right? Like skating the contest, like
it
Reynolds
was
and all them.
one of those years. It was the year like Bam, Carrie Getz, and Maldonado all got on Toy Machine, and they're all at Tampa Am.
Wow.
So that was kind of sick, but also, you know, I'd seen like, I'm from the East Coast, so I'd seen them around, and like, you know, they're all like, we kind of like knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and like, you know, like, I don't know, like I felt like I didn't feel like super intimidated, like, oh my God, these guys are so much like better than me, you know? So it wasn't like that. It was just kind of getting in it mentally to like wanting to beat someone.
Right.
But I don't know, but like sometimes it's different, because I'll still catch like, you know, be like, oh, well, like someone did like that trick at that spot, but like maybe I could do this. I still think like that. But I think in that format of like skating, like it's hard for me to get motivated to,
Yeah.
but
I mean, you're under a timer and everything. Like, you gotta go when they say go. It's like, yeah, it's like kind of, that'd be nerve wracking for me too, man. Like, like when you said you got nervous and you had to pee, and I was like, I started thinking of this movie where this guy, I don't know, he was like a drummer and he had a band, and every time before he went on stage, he got nervous and he threw up in his hand, and then he put it in his pocket, and then he would go out there and play.
I had to go pee twice before we started. So I was a little nervous for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was, and then like local contests. Like, I don't know, the park I learned how to skate in was called Newburgh Skate Park. They did a whole contest for it there in like 41110. But that was like where I learned how to skate a park, and like I got second in one of the contests there. I won the contest at Woodward. That got me like those sweet Airwalks back in the day.
Nice. That's got to be a cool experience going to Woodward.
Yeah.
I mean, were there anybody there that turned out to be pros later on, or?
I went to Woodward with Jake Rupp. He was pro for Element. A lot of visiting pros when I was there, like Dandra Hobel was there when I was there. Donnie Barley was my counselor at Woodward, and we still keep in touch, and that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And counselor, like, what would he do as a counselor? Like, he'll give you tips, advice.
I mean, it was like a summer camp. So it was like, like a camp counselor.
Yeah.
He'd like...
He's like in charge of the group,
like,
right?
Which is kind of funny, putting like a 19-year-old skateboarder in charge of anything.
I mean, yeah, well, that's what happened. I think Mike Mo, that's what, like, he broke his, like, leg or ankle or something there. Like, he was driving one of the little golf carts, and they're getting too wild, and he tried to put his foot out and stop it from falling, and just don't want to do that.
My question would be, would Woodward be an experience? If anyone could go and experience it, it would be a good one, or?
I mean,
I think it is.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's like you're just training skateboarding, like, because it was like I went when I wanted to like master skateboarding, and you're around like the best skaters. The craziest thing,
and they have everything.
Was actually getting to see, like, no one likes to watch like vert skating in like a skate video, but actually seeing like legitimate vert skating in person is absolutely like mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah.
And this is when like Mike Frazier, Brian Howard, and like Tuss Pappas were like in their prime skating vert, and there weren't a lot of vert ramps, so they would be at Woodward skating vert, and it was insane to watch what those dudes were doing. It was like almost not even like relatable in terms of how like a normal like street skater would skate.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be seeing how big those ramps are too, you're like, this is insane.
Well, I mean, like, I can relate, because my first time seeing real vert skating, my stepdad took us to see Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Hook Jam, and I was like, the level of vert skating they were doing, I was just like, this is nuts. And then to have the fact that they have FMX flying over them while they're airing out,
like fireworks
going and you're just
off.
Like, you're just like, I'm like, I don't know, street skating can top this.
Yeah,
it's more of a performance now when they're doing it, but man, dude, that's amazing.
But still, it's like, me as a transition skater, I still have my goal of learning how to fly. I call it flying because
it's like flying.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to like. They don't even like to get in the air without like hitting your tail.
Yeah,
it makes no.
I still can't comprehend.
Just like
it
bonking off the coping or something, or it's like.
But it's like you bonk, but then how do you pull yourself in, or how do you keep your feet on your board with no grab? Like I watch Grayson Fletcher a lot.
Yeah,
I'm a big Grayson Fletcher fan. And I'm just like, if I could skate transition like you, dude, I'd be. That's it. I wouldn't go pro or anything. I'd disappear and just build a transition compound somewhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's insane, dude, what those guys are doing. Yeah, back in the day, like you said, we used to fast forward vert, but Colin McKay, when I used to watch him skate the vert ramp, it was like he was busting out like flip tricks, like street skating on the mini ramp, on the vert ramp. So, I mean, that guy was like that's insane.
Yeah, like backtail big spins and stuff.
You're like, dude, what?
That was rad. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What are some of the favorite tricks that you've done that you've gotten maybe on video, or maybe got away and didn't get to record it?
Definitely that front side flip, in that deluxe video is one of them, because just that whole moment of like the skaters I was with were taking like the deluxe team around Hartford, Connecticut, and it was like, Mickey Reyes, Chris Postras, like Gabe Morford was like shot a photo of it, but it never came out in anything, and it was just like all of like.
Did you see the photo? Did you get to see?
No.
Oh,
damn. It, but like I didn't know that. Like, oh wait, but you don't have like a sponsor that advertises with their magazine, so we have absolutely no reason to like put your photo in here. Like that didn't like click until like later. I'm like, oh man, why did that photo never come out?
Right.
Yeah.
I should just be like hyped as in the video. But that, just the whole energy of that session, I remember like when I rolled away, and my friend Doug Brown, who also I should have mentioned him. He's Brian Brown's older brother. Brian skated for Zoo York, and he was pro for Listen. I would grow up filming with him, and then like he filmed it, and then actually like I could send you like I have his angle of it like on my Instagram. I'll send it to you. But I remember riding away from that and being like the reaction of like, you know, people who are in the skateboard industry seeing like me do that, and it was just like this feeling of just like, okay, like, you know, just being accepted as being on like that level was wild. What else is crazy? Oh, this front blunt I did at P2 recently was a pretty crazy, because I actually like went back twice for it, and I really wanted to do it. So that was kind of, and it was kind of gnarly for like how I skate now at like my age. So that was kind of cool.
Which obstacle at P2?
It was like, you know, the thing, that wedge quarter pipe in the back, like it's like a flat bank, but it's steep. It's like, if you come into P2, it's like in the back.
Okay.
And then it's next to the that other like little tight quarter pipe.
Okay.
Well, it's like, is it like that little one that's like dead center in the middle almost?
Kind of. It's like a flat bank, but it's steep, and it's like has like kind of like a round lip for it.
Right, and
Yeah,
it doesn't have no top or nothing, right? You could fall off into the other side almost.
There's like there's enough of a top on it.
Enough of a top on it. Okay.
Maybe if we take a break, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, because I know that there's a part where you could come around and whip around the back the corner underneath the billboard, and then there's like a quarter pipe like over here.
Yeah. It's right next to the quarter pipe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then there's like the wooden like ramp over there.
Yeah, it's in between the wooden ramp and that one.
Yeah, that's dope.
But I was psyched on that. What other big ones? So I wrote for this company called Sure Shot Skateboards out of Jersey. And they put out a video in 2003. And that was like probably, and I don't have a copy of it or anything, but that was like probably the best my skateboarding's like ever been documented when I was in my prime. And it has like some, like I like have a screen grab of like the last minute of my part on there, and like some of the stuff there, like I was really psyched on. Like I front boarded like this kinked rail. Like there's this pretty famous white out rail, but you have to like gap down the last part. That's in Albany. Like Fred Gall skated it. Like I crooked. That was like, I was really hyped on. And then like I kickflip front tailed this out ledge in Jersey, and I was like real hyped because I did this in like 2002. And then I saw like some dude did like the same trick on like that ledge and put it in his part in like 2023, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of stuff in that.
That's cool. Are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to get little like stuff for the IG, like, and then like each month I'll like edit it into a reel, and then I think Pawn Shop's coming out with a project in October with like everyone involved, and then I'm like getting a little some stuff for that, you know, and I can make it like, you know, out with like the guys and go get something with Ed, who's filming for them. And then I've been skating with my homie Tyler a lot because he lives like, I'm in West Covina, he's in Rolling Heights.
Okay.
He's like built a lot of P2, but we've been like finding a lot of street spots like just in our zone, and like, you know, it's like we'll just like film each other like, oh, you know, you just need like one person to like go street skating with. And if you want to like, you know, with like, to me it's just like, well, what's the point? Like, you know, like it's Instagram, let's just like get something on the phone and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays Instagram is like the new generation of like back in the day when you have a friend that has a camera. But nowadays we have like a friend, like everybody has a cell phone. We could easily get a clip, you know, like we go outside, get a clip, you could make easily a reel, you know, and boom, put it up.
Fast. Yeah.
It's it's so like
instant,
instant gratification, or even like I could put it on the tripod and be like, oh, I'm just gonna like film it myself. Like
that's what normally I do. Yeah, because I don't like to bother anybody, especially if I don't know if I'm gonna get the clip fast. If I know something I could probably get right away, then yeah, I'll let them point the camera. But you know, a lot of people though, I you know, I hate to say this, but I like the way I film, and like I know Peralta is the same way. He likes the way he films, and I know I can give the camera to Peralta, and I don't have to be worrying about like you know, in the back of my head while I'm trying to get this trick, is he gonna get it right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I trust it. You know, so you know, there's people like that out there, but nowadays everybody knows how to point and shoot. You know, everybody that skates, dude. Cause
but still, sometimes though, like if a homie asks me to film, I'm gonna like throw a little zoom in. Like growing up around Doug, he taught me like the triangle, how you go out, in on the click, then back out. So I kind of know how to film, and like I try to do that if someone hands me the phone. And then when someone else, they're just like sitting there with the phone, you're like, come on man, can you like work it a little bit?
I'll tell you right away, if you ask me to film, I'm not gonna zoom in and out, because I don't, unless it's the same phone that I use or something, because then I'm like, dude, I might have pushed something, now I turned it off, and I'm like, oh dude, sorry, you gotta wait, hold on, can you get the camera back on?
Or just like the R movement, you could kind of like
I try to get the same way, you know. Like when I film people, I'm like, I'm gonna make you look as good as I can, possibly. Whether it's like me doing a trick where like maybe I film you up to make the spot look bigger. Maybe I gotta get you this way so the sun doesn't glare too much, or the sunset looks nice in the background. Just to like make everything just look.
Or those telephone wires look nice. I'm gonna hit those first and then like pan over to you. Like
lately, I've been doing this thing with the fisheye in hallways. Where when we start taking off, I point up, and then I slowly bring it down and pan into you while you're already full speed. And then you just get ready to pop in your trick, and then it looks like a nice little pan out of nothing.
That's like that old Tom Penny schoolyard line from like the 4-in-1 flip industry section.
Yeah,
where he's skating like that hallway, and then like he backtails that rail at the end.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like way old. It's like all my skating's so dated. It's like
well, I mean, I myself watched so much skate videos from back in the day, but then you can only intake and remember so much.
I totally like agree with that, because I'm one of those dudes where like, you know, myself, I give the camera to somebody, my phone, and I want that zoom in, zoom out, because that really gives it effect for the video. You know, it makes it look better than what it's supposed to be. You know, those people just stand right there and like they're just like standing right there and make it look normal. You know. And also, too, like, I remember with the fisheye, I would have this filmer that, like, he'll film on our face to see, like, our face impression. And he'll, like, zoom back out, you know, like, with the fisheye. And we'll just start filming the line. And it was pretty cool. It looked cool, man, you know?
And
stuff like that.
Like, I can say one thing I don't get with these days in the filming is zoom into your feet, zoom into your face, and zoom in back into your feet. I'm like, I don't really like that too much.
Like, I mean, everybody to each his own, man. That's kind of what the trend is, you know?
I mean, I feel like I still like that old school style of filming where I got the fisheye on. I'm gonna either be all up in your business, or if I'm gonna film a long shot, we're gonna make it look artsy.
What bugs me out is like after someone gets a trick, them like visibly reacting to it on camera. And I know, like, I'm not trying to hate, but it doesn't make sense to me, because when I first started filming, I would get made fun of for looking at the camera after I landed a trick. Like, you would get clowned. Like, they used to call it beaming. Like, you don't beam the camera. Like, you just get your trick. So now, like, I had to, like, consciously make an effort, like, okay, I got my trick. Don't look. And you'll see it, like, if you watch a clip of me, you'll see I'm always looking, like, away from the camera when I'm rolling away. And so, like, seeing, like, kids now, like, looking back at the camera as soon as they stomp something, it's like, that look like, what? I never got to even, like, enjoy that. Like, I want to, like, celebrate.
Dude, I was notorious for that, and I was at the butt end of it, so I would get a lot of shit talked to me.
Right?
I mean, like, don't look at the camera, just roll away.
Dude, well, he don't even have to be doing, like, filming. He'll land something at the skate park, and I'm watching, and I'll see him look around and see who saw that, you know, which is cool. But but it's just that thing, you know, like you're like, fuck, did everybody see that?
No, everybody does that. You just have to be low key about it. It's like like checking out a woman. Like, you don't want her to know you're staring at it.
Right,
like,
right.
Kind of like, did you see him? You land that?
Yeah, I still feel like I have the little kid mentality where I'm like, did you see that? Did you see that? I got it. I'm just hyped that I got something.
It's just excitement, you know?
Yeah. For sure. If I know, like, my homie's, like, watching me try something, I'll get, like, more fired up to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, yesterday when they had the, the park hopper thing at La Puente, and I'm doing multiple no slides on a ledge, but I was trying to get the whole thing, but I wasn't getting quite to the end.
Which one? The A-frame?
No, the one next to the A-frame, kind of like, the one that you come down the big hill.
The little mini bump to ledge.
Yeah, the mini bump to ledge, and then so I was trying to get the whole thing. But
It's a long nose slide.
It's a long nose slide. Yeah. And but I jumped out of it, and of course Jason Elric is coming around, and he's like, yeah, he's hyping me up, and I'm like, hey, cool, thank you, but
Jason
I'm not.
Loves a good nose slide.
Yeah, and I'm not like, because I do that trick all the time, so I'm not really looking back, to see who's watching. But I love when people, like, maybe they'll judge and see, like, oh, that guy skates, can he do? Oh, he doesn't know, so that's cool. All right,
Yeah.
And give us some love, But, dude, I do want to talk about Pawn Shop though. How did you get involved with Pawn Shop?
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Is that kind of like a local skate shop for you, or?
I lived in LA from like 2008 to 2022, and I kind of knew about Pawn Shop because, seeing like Donovan or like John Fitzgerald always running the rocking like pawn shirts, and like when they'd have like coverage, and I was always get my stuff randomly, and then after we were gonna have our second kid, we needed to be like closer to like our family, and my in-laws, they lived in Walnut, and I like just needed some shoes, and I'm like, well, this is a skater-owned shop, it supports skateboarding, like this is where I'm gonna go to like get my stuff now. And then I would go in there, just like normal, like I'm not gonna go in there like trying to be like, oh hey, like da 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 da, like I'm like this or that, like,
yeah,
I'm just a skater getting some shoes, and they told me about like, oh, we do this thing on Fridays called Flat Bar. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds fun. And like growing up, we'd always have like box flat bar sessions, like whatever, like everyone, I had a box growing up, like Doug and Brian had a box, and it was just like, just go tune up the bag, like, oh, we can't think of a spot, let's just go like work the bag in, and I was like 45, but I'd go through like periods where like in certain situations, like I'll just like start seeing my board like I was 24, and it was just like that night I was just like hyped on the session, and it turns out that like, like Anthony, Donovan, like everyone was there, and I was just like kind of like on a good one, like at that one flat bar. And then I just kind of started, and then I'd known kind of Anthony through mutual friends, and I met Anthony, and then I just kind of like started coming around the shop, and it just felt like, like when I walk into that shop, I feel like it's like home. Like this is like a skate shop. This is like how I look at skateboarding. This is like the representation of skateboarding that like I identify with, just like what like Anthony's doing. And then, it just kind of worked, like I got along with everyone, and like I'll go when I can. Like it's tough, because I can't like be out in the van all day with like dudes just like skating, because I have like, like kids and stuff, but like just like being out with the team, doing like a little projects for them and stuff, it's just like, it's just really nice, and it's really like important to me, because like to still be connected with skateboarding, and it's just like really dope scene to be a part of.
Yeah, that's cool. Do they put you on like a float type of deal, or do they give you like a discount type of deal?
It's just a good friendship. It's just what it is.
Family type of deal.
It's just family.
That's cool.
It's like I have, what I do for work. Like I help them out with like stuff I need. They help me out with what I need, and it's just family. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Shout out to them, man, because I know they do a lot of things for their community and stuff like that. Like I heard they're even getting another skate park put in somewhere. Like in Pomona?
At the Pomona location. Yeah, there's gonna be a little skate spot at the Pomona store location.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to raise some funds for that. So hopefully that maybe they could put something together that could get a bunch of people together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
sure.
that'll be cool, man. Shout out to Pawn Shop. Like I said, like they were one of the places where, like, I remember going there and they had like a little issue. They had like a little fire, you know, and a bunch of people came together and kind of helped them out with that. And then I remember going back and I bought these shoes that I'm wearing right now from there. So yeah, man, support, dude. That's so rad. Yeah. So how long have you been going to a pawn shop? It's been a while.
Not since since we moved out of LA, you know, since like probably for the past like 2.5 years.
Okay, so you're fairly new to it.
Yeah. I joke with Anthony, like, yo, I wish I moved to Covina like 15 years ago.
Right. But you got that family vibe, like you've been there for 15 years, so that's dope.
Yeah, like for a second I thought like you and Anthony like grew up together, you know? Knew each other since you guys were kids.
It's just how we like hit it off, you know, we're just very similar and like what we kind of just, I don't know, it's like you can't explain it, like when you meet someone, but you just meet them like when you're older, but it feels like you've known them like your whole life. It's just like one of those vibes, yeah.
That's awesome. Heck yeah, man. What's your board setup?
Right now, I'm riding this Antihero 838 Eagle. It's just kind of like, that's my favorite shape. Like, I don't need to try another shape, you know.
838?
838.
Okay.
It's not super crazy concave.
But it's always anti-hero, or?
It's not really brand specific.
But it's got to be that 838?
It comes out of, it's a specific shape from the press at BBS.
Okay.
This 838 shape, and if it's like a brand that uses BBS for their wood and it's 838, it's my shape.
Okay. Yeah, so it could end up on another brand.
It could be it could be a slave board, it could be a their board, it could be a real board, but as long as it's like BBS 838, like that's my board. And then that's my like regular setup. That's the one wood, and then for the 9-iron, I have like it's a shaped pawn board. It's like the graphic with like the gorilla smashing the curb, and I have like some rails on that one and some slappies and some snot softer wheels, and that's
okay.
That was my P2 board because it had the curb, but then they started kind of building some. Nate and Tyler built some obstacles, and I'm like, oh no, I kind of need like the main setup for this stuff.
So you have two setups that you rock with? That's cool.
Yeah, and a cruiser. Like a
cruiser.
big fatty you could like film on or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. What about trucks? What trucks do you like to rock?
Always been Indy.
Indy?
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Wheels?
Spitfire.
Spitfire
53 or 54.
Excuse me. Yeah. But is there like do you collect skateboards at all?
I have 3 boards on the wall. 2 of them are original shut boards, which is like this company, this old New York company that later became Zoo York, but it was just kind of like an embodiment of like what New York skateboarding looked like in the 80s. So I have 2.
And you had those from back in the day?
No, I bought them once I got some disposable income just for wall hangers.
Yeah.
And then I have a pawn wing and wheel just hanging just cause.
Okay. All right. Would there be a board maybe that you had back in the day that you wish you never skated or collected?
The Henry Sanchez Everslick, where it was the Terminator as the
one?
top, and then when you slid off like the paint, it was like the Terminator exoskeleton Everslick.
That's so dope.
I wish I never skated that one. Yeah, definitely that one. Just a lot of those 90s shapes. Those things like broke like balsa wood too. Especially like when you have your trucks cranked down for like pressure flips, but like all like the 90s boards, you know, like the Dan Paterka, like Charlie Brown stripe board, like that one. A lot of, you know, like some of like the Blind and World Industries boards I wouldn't want my mom, like I wouldn't be able to bring home.
Right.
Like those gnarly graphics.
Those are always dope, yeah.
The Jim Thiebaud Hanging Klansman, that one, that's like my all-time favorite graphic, and I wanted to get one of those for the wall, but my wife shot it down for decoration. She thought it was too violent.
Yeah, I mean that would be probably placed underneath the bed or something. I have some pretty graphic boards too that now I'm like, I don't know if I should put this on the show. You might see them in the early episodes.
Yeah.
But they get pretty crazy, and then like. We've had a guest, like one time I was trying to put the, it's, what's his name? Ed Templeton. It's a middle finger, right? And this guy, he's like, oh man. And it wasn't even, we're doing 2 episodes that day. So he was like, my wife's going to watch this. Do you think you could change that? Yeah, they're Christian. So I was like,
wow, that's a big one. Just a middle finger. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's no problem, But, so if I put that one on the wall, sometimes it's on this side because you can't really, it doesn't really show as much. But, yeah, man, shout out to those boards, dude. The Klansman one would be hanging. It's a classic. I mean, it's a sought-after board for sure.
I wanted to ask, do you remember your very first board? Did we ask you that already?
It was like, well, he said like it was like a little toy, but...
No, it was a toy. My first real board was Mike McGill's Skull and Snake.
Was it a popsicle or was it the shape boards?
It had no nose.
No nose?
This is like, because 91 was a real, like, strange time to start skating, because my first board...
Did it have like a slight little... Nothing
okay. On the first one, and then my second board, the Mike McGill had no nose at all, and then the second board was a Frankie Hill, and that was a full-on double kick.
Okay.
And as soon as I got the double kick, I could ollie.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, bro, fun fact about Frankie Hill. I was writing for him, and I did not know who he was.
Which Frankie Hill company?
It's Hill Skateboards.
Hill Skateboards?
Yeah.
Because I got to skate with him a couple times when I lived in Santa Barbara, and I forget. He was doing a company back then. Shout out to Frankie Hill. Shout out to Mike Santa Rosa, too. Because when I was in Santa Barbara... He was on, I forget which his board sponsor was, but we had the same shoe size, but he was regular and I was goofy, and he'd always give me his old Etnies. I lived around the corner.
That's so cool. And then he had like a side you can work with.
Yeah.
And then the other side is like, damn, you're goofy footed? You're like, no, skate switch.
Did you know some guy named Yoshi Norohime, something like that?
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was part of the team too with Frankie Hill. This was back like in 2011.
Yeah.
Hill Skateboards, but yeah, it was a fun run.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet Frankie?
Yeah, man. One time, actually, when we did a tour to Fresno, we stopped at his house, picked up a couple boards.
Yeah.
That was nighttime, so I didn't really get to see him. But after I met him, I seen documentaries, and I started to know him more, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I met this guy.
Jump big things. Yeah, that's what I remember.
He was tech, too. If you watch, I forget which Powell video, but he was doing crazy stuff at the old skate zone, like super crazy, like big flip board slide. Like he was a really amazing skater.
He was
if you actually look at like what people were doing. Another dude, I feel like another skater who's super underrated is JP Jadid, and I didn't really feel like I was paying attention to what he was doing, like at the time he was doing it. But now, like, when I go back and look at what he was doing, like, he definitely should get, like, some more shine. Because it was, like, he, like, nollie heel nose slid, like, the UCI rail the same time Arto did it. But, like, he didn't have the right people to, like, put it on blast,
I'm sure that happened to a lot of people, man.
A lot of people.
Could you imagine, like, you just don't have a filmer, or you just didn't grow up in the scene or something, like, because there were skaters around that, you'd be like, the dude could do almost anything, and either something happens or maybe some kids got into drugs and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I mean, all the talent too, but sometimes they just didn't have the right path or someone to, either.
Or even the right homies,
the right homies.
Put them out there.
Yeah. All right. What shoes do you skate in?
Oh, man. I skate Americas.
Americas,
yeah. I bleed green, and it's kind of hard to find them. So I kind of like scour the internet to find deals. I'm skating the John Dixons right now. I got like a couple pairs in the closet.
Okay. Yeah, you have to stock up on stuff like that.
Did you ever like the Renault 3s, Americas?
I love the Renault 3s. Oh, yeah.
Which one's your favorite colorway?
Always black. For some reason, like, I have to have like black shoes, like when I skate, or like 3 bolts instead of 4 in the front, like little like idiosyncrasies about like skating that like it just feels off unless it's like that's like what's happening.
Okay. Yeah, that's an old school thing, man. Like I have Vinny Pani.
Yeah.
I have his skateboard in my trunk, and he has 3 bolts in one of them too. So, and I was like, I wonder if that's just like a New York thing.
It might have been, but I see people out here who do it.
Yeah.
Vinny Pani.
Do you do that?
I have 3 bolts on both trucks.
3.
Okay.
It's not 3 on both. It's just 3 on the front.
Yeah.
Me for some reason mentally messes with me if I don't have 3 on each side.
So funny.
Did you ever see a New York mixtape?
Yes.
You know, in Vinny Pani's part when he front boards the handrail and someone's holding the door open for him?
Okay.
That was me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to that, man. Yeah, dude. Vinny Pani's a homie, man.
Vinny Pani's sick.
We had him actually on the show too.
Yeah.
I watched that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a rad dude, man.
That was
And,
the first time I actually met him too on the show. Got to know who he was.
It's funny because he hit me up because he wanted to skate the mini ramp. Somehow he saw the mini ramp on Instagram or somehow. You know, maybe he saw Jeremy Ray skate it or something. But yeah, and then he's like, "Hey man, I want to skate your mini ramp." I'm like, "Yeah, let's set it up," but we never really set it up. One day he's at my local skate shop, which is Two Felons, and he's in there supporting because they had just got broken into.
Oh shit.
And so like he went in there, spent like a couple $100, whatever. But I walk in and he's standing there. I'm like, really? This is the first time we got to meet in person? And then he was like looking at me. I'm like, dude, what's up, man? Skate show. He's like, oh, what's up, dude? And then the guys even in the store, like I was like, they're like, who is this guy? I'm like, dude, you know who this guy is? Come on now.
Yeah.
And then the guy, shout out to Kyle Dunbar. He was putting together his board. He's like, I'm putting together his skateboard right now. Oh, like all excited, like
Curb Daddy?
Yeah, Curb Daddy, man. So, yeah, man, he's a rad dude, man, and yeah, he's fun to skate with too. A cool dude. Any pros that you skated with or would like to skate with?
I mean, I like skating with Donovan a lot.
Donovan?
Yeah, Donovan.
couple?
Yeah, I always get fired up.
He just got a
watching
sick
Donovan
clip
skate.
yesterday too.
Dude, that clip was, that spot's fun. Yeah, and then like a lot of dudes like Denzel White like should be pro, but he doesn't have his name on a board, and I think that's criminally insane because he's like one of, and I've grown up like around like professional skateboarding and been around like the gnarliest pros, and he's like,
He'll fit in.
he fits. He's like
Yeah.
one of the most like well-rounded, all-around talented skateboarders like I've ever seen.
He's like underground, huh? Underground OG.
Yeah.
For sure, killer.
That's like
Is he getting some kind of flow at least, or
I
anything
think
like
he's
that?
on like the shop helps him out. I think
Yeah.
Zero helps him out, but he definitely, those like there's so many of those stories for like i.e. like mid 2000 like active park days. Like
Right.
there's a lot that's kind of like I'm always like interested in like pockets of like skateboard where like skateboarding was really popping off, and I feel like that's a scene that's kind of been like underdocumented or like not given enough credit.
Then you're talking about the Inland Empire,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
they had like a big skate park out there, right? Like an outdoor wooden one way back in the days.
I think, and then they had like an indoor one, and occasionally you'll see like footage popping up, and you'll see like some of the OGs who skate like the Chino Park a lot, but there's just like, like east of kind of like where I am, just like kind of like I'm always like, dude, I bet it was like popping off
Yeah.
like early 2000s. Even like the dudes who come out of there, like Forrest Edwards and like Jeremy Liabris, like you don't like people like don't come out of areas like that good unless there's like a history behind like what's going on skateboarding wise out there.
Yeah. I mean, there might be one person out there that's naturally talented, but a lot of times you gotta know what's going on. People, the good people. If you hang around with better people, I think the better you get as well. So.
Who brought you around like when you were younger? Like who showed you the ropes to skateboarding?
They're like the generation before me where I lived in New York. There's like a generation of skaters before me. This guy named Jake DeVries and James Crosby took me in, and Actually, James is turning 50 this month, and Jake's coming out, and we're all gonna have like a little reunion, which is gonna be dope. But,
That is so dope.
It was like very like Big Brother, like 90s stuff. It was like they had cars, and like they're all a couple of years older than me, and like 20 and like 16 is a big difference. And it was like they're like, all right, well, we're skating these stairs. Like, you got to try to skate them, or you're walking home.
Damn, that was a different mentality back then, man. If that was the case thrown at me, I might have gotten a little better. You know, like, oh no, I need this ride home. Because when you're young like that, I remember all my friends were older too. You're just sitting in the back seat. You're super excited that you even got to go to these spots, and now you're like. And then, like, me being a mostly curbs and stuff like that skater, and then we get to this ledge that, like a load high ledge, back in the day at the library in Brea. Man, that thing was intimidating a little bit, you know. But now I wish that spot was still there, because I know I can do stuff on it now, but I don't think it exists anymore.
But yeah, like, shout out to that, you know, or like. I don't know. I don't want to throw like shade on them, but like, this story is funny because it was like we were skating this handrail and I slammed, and I'm like, I think I broke my thumb, and they're like, oh no, you're fine. Just go wait in the car till we're done skating it, and like they skate whatever, drop me off, the thing's all swollen, and then like I'm like, Mom, I think I broke my thumb. And like she took me and like, yeah, it was broken. So I had like a cast on. And it was just kind of just like funny, like that's how it is. Like, you know, like, well, like, yeah, like we'll figure it out like when we're done. But it made me like, you know, like I can eat a slam now, like because of it. And like also like kind of like watching like Salma Nagai, I was like kind of hyped, like, oh, I could get like footage with like a cast on now.
Dude, that always tripped me out when I would see people skate with a cast. Like, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I would have kept skating. You know what I mean? But maybe. I mean, I've almost broken my ankle when I kept skating. So
it's like double the cautious, you know, like because you don't want to fall and hit yourself. But this one you gotta like double. You know, double.
Like a full elbow cast is crazy, but if you have like the wrist, it's kind of like a wrist guard because you can kind of slide on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the hardest break to do through skating is when I broke my collarbone. I remember I was just in all they told me was like, all we can do is a sling and wrap it around.
That's all you can do, and you just sit there. Yeah.
But I couldn't sit. I was skating whatever I could transition, but then you take that one slam. And there's no avoiding landing on it. You just get up here and just like,
just seeing stars.
You're just like, wow. You don't even know. You don't even have words to yell at the world of how much in pain you are in.
It's just an agony. Yeah, I've never done my collarbone. But.
Yeah. I got a bad shoulder right now, but I think that's because I was falling on it when I was a little bit heavier too.
Yeah.
So now, like, sometimes I'll forget that it even hurts, and then I'll go to like reach something. I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, damn. I was like. You know, you go to the doctor, they just, it just happens when you get older. What? No, let's fix this thing, man. Like, you know?
Yeah, I hate getting older, man.
Yeah.
Was that one of your worst injuries, your thumb, or you had like a couple of them? I seen you skate with a knee brace. Is that one of your injuries, or you just for support?
No, I tore my ACL like a year and a half ago.
Ooh.
No surgery, or did you get surgery?
No surgery.
No surgery.
Skateboarding or?
Yeah, skating.
Oh,
like stupid, like, you know, and it was kind of like, that was the one like I'd always been scared to do. You know, I've had like a ton. I fractured my back and couldn't skate for like 6 months, like broken ankles, like fingers, thumbs, like the fingers were so like, you know, just kind of like a finger, like you kind of, I was like popping them back in my place and just like taping.
I've done that.
Because like I know like, oh, well, they're just going to do that if I go to the hospital. So why like waste the time? But that was a gnarly one because I had weird insurance. And like when I went in to get it, when they first got the results of the MRI, like the guy who read my MRI like didn't treat me like I was like an athletic. Like he thought like he treated me like just like a normal person, and then I didn't really like think it was torn because I was able to walk on it right away. So I didn't have like the right questions to ask, and it was just like really hard he was like, well, maybe you should get surgery, maybe you shouldn't, like I don't know, like he didn't even tell me like the degree of the tear. And then I just kind of, you know, like went through like some like pretty gnarly like mental health stuff after that.
Because of the knee?
Because of the knee.
And not skateboarding?
Or questioning whether I would be able to skate again.
Damn.
But yeah.
So skateboarding is super, super important too.
Super important. It's, yeah, you know.
It's like
it's
for your mental, right, too. I would assume, because, I mean, you're going crazy thinking about, like, what am I going to do if I can't skate?
Yeah.
And it sucks, too, because the knees is the worst injury you can take as a skateboarder.
One of them, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you need these things to keep pushing.
Without your ankle, you can find a different way to push, different way to flick.
Mm-hmm.
But with your knees, the moment you can't bend them right,
Mm-hmm.
there goes your pump, there goes your ollie, there goes.
Yeah.
You can have a day where you're just trying to come out and skate, and you can bend down, and then you'll feel a sharp pain. You're just like, yeah, I don't feel like ollieing right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gnarly.
But does that knee brace help you out? Or is it just more like security?
I don't know now. At first, for sure, because, like, I eventually, like, would do, like, you know, I couldn't get, like, a proper diagnosis. And then, you know, I really, you know, I got to a point to where how I was coping with it, I needed to, like, make a decision to get sober. Because I was kind of...
Oh, you were drinking or something like that.
Like, and then I just kind of started skating again. Like, at first, like, just pushing on the cruiser, then seeing if I could ollie over a sewer cap, then seeing if I could sloppy a curb, and then, you know, it got to where I got back to where I'm like pretty happy with how I was skating.
And this is all, and you had the knee brace on the whole
yeah, I
time?
have the knee brace on. So now I don't know if I've strengthened it enough just by doing that to where I don't need the brace, but also I kind of want that extra support because I know, like, I don't have, like, an ACL keeping it from, like, going out of place. So but, like, on your mini ramp, like, you know, I didn't have it on, and, like, I didn't, like, really, it didn't hurt.
Okay.
But I just think
didn't
if
even
I
think
have
about
to,
that.
like, put, like, impact on it, like, it kind of scares me. Like, I won't skate stairs. I'll hop on, like, a rail or hub hooks. I think there's enough, like, sideways momentum to where, like, if I can run out of something and roll out of it, I'm good. But, like, it's kind of like skating, like, doing, like, kick flipping a set of stairs, where if you kick out and it's just that, like, splat, like, an immediate impact that kind of I'm, like, scared of.
Right. Yeah. I mean, dude, I the knee brace, I would say, like, how long has it been since you had to wear it? Like, or
I did it in April of 23.
Okay.
So yeah,
so it's still kind of fresh.
I started skating in August, so and I've just, like, always, like, skate. I just, like, put it on to skate. But I don't know. I just, like, your ramp. I'm just like, I just wanted to, like, see what your ramp felt like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to go all through all that.
Yeah, that's cool. And you're still sober today, right?
Yeah. I had July 20th was a year sober for me.
Okay, congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
Heck yeah, man, that's awesome.
I get 1 year on the 15th of this month from alcohol.
Hey,
yeah.
Thank you.
Good for you, man.
Heck yeah. I just, like, I don't know, but I still got to, like, January if I don't drink. So I mean, I never said I quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped for right now, but right now it doesn't look like I'm really interested in drinking anymore. But I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm not, and then turn around and I have a drink one day and somebody goes, "Oh, I thought you said yeah." You know, I mean, I never said I had a problem with it. I think I just abused it too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like full blown. Like, I go to AA and stuff. Like, and I never say I'm never gonna drink again. I just say I'm not gonna drink today.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I mean, to everybody's different, man.
That's what I was always told. Like, when I did my 3 months, my support guy at work would tell me, "So, dude, don't think of it as you're gonna not drink till this day. Just take it today."
That's what I do.
Just take it as today. And
I don't
it.
say that, but I know, like, today I made a choice not to drink, and
Yeah.
tomorrow we'll see if I still make that choice, you know? But
And it helps because, like, if I'm in a spot now to where, like, a drink sounds good, I'm just like, I'll see if it still sounds good tomorrow. And it never does.
you know, it's so funny that sometimes it does sound good to have a drink, and then I go, wow, but what's the point of just having that one then if I can't have 7 or 8? You know, like, nah, I'm not going to do it then.
For me, it's more like, well, what's the point of having one if I can't lock myself in a hotel room and lose my job?
Dang. Yeah, see, I never gotten there. You know what I mean? So, but
I know that feeling.
dude, yeah. So,
It's
but
like you just wanna I'm gonna keep going and be like, forget all my responsibilities tomorrow.
Yeah, but congratulations on being sober, man.
Thank you.
That's amazing, and I support that for sure, and I'm sure all your friends do too, man. Like, I know this guy when he got sober too. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, I seen a whole new Listo.
Yeah.
You know, so it was cool.
Skating much better. Like, you see your board so much better.
Oh my God, my belly's not in the way no more. Like, it's so cool, you know. Like,
better balance, better mentality, better, like, you know, you feel more actively,
you don't get
more
hurt as
productive.
much, so you could react to like slams quicker. Like,
Dude, right? Like, my bad. I felt like right after, because before I felt like I couldn't pop my board, but now I feel like, dude, I fall and I get back up. Like, dude, I feel like I'm like a teenager, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just the way you treat your body and what you eat, you know?
Yeah.
for sure.
I gotta change my diet. So,
man,
I mean,
those
that's
candy
what's
bars
next.
are
But
hard, man. I've tried. I was maybe like a month, like no refined sugar, like no candy bars, no donuts, no ice cream, and then like I fell off, and now it's like I'm trying to get back to that, but I'll like go in hard now. I'm like, give me
Peanut butter and those Reese's.
dude, those fast breaks, man.
man,
It's a problem, though.
They are, bro.
I was eating those Take Fives. Did you try that one?
It's the fast breaks. I think it's the combination of the nougat and the peanut butter in the fast break that makes it like, it's like, I don't even know.
It's like peanut butter just so creamy and like satisfying when you bite into it.
Sometimes I close
Reese's,
my eyes
if
when I
you're
eat
listening, you know, this is a good, you know,
I'm telling
commercial
you,
for you.
my first 3 months sobering up, every single day I was
Every
mine
day.
too. I'd go like, all right, I ate lunch, I ate healthy, I didn't drink today. I deserve 2 Reese's fast breaks.
Yeah, that's how I do. Still, like, or if I'll have like a rough day, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna like have a drink, I'm like, I'm getting a fast break. I'm like,
That's
eat
crazy.
them.
That's funny.
And my wife, she'll like see me come in with 2 of them. She's like,
That's your new
again?
addiction.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go to like another kind of meeting for those.
12-step program of fast break.
I'm telling you, if you did with the nut rages, I don't know, it's just the crunchiness of the peanut, that like the actual peanuts in it, and then the caramel and the peanut butter. I'm just like, damn.
Oh, they got caramel in them?
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
it's
damn.
caramel, peanut butter, and actual like chunks of peanuts. So it's like eating Jiffy's crunchy peanut butter.
And like, oh wait, no, it has 3 grams of protein in it. It's cool, like from the peanuts.
Yeah, and you're just like, but
So-
it sucks because that's the hardest Reese's chocolate bar to find. The Nutrageous.
Really, I see the Nutrageous, but I'll just do the fast breaks, or if I'm like really fiending, I'll get like the big cups.
Oh,
Yeah.
If I can't
yeah.
find,
I was never too much of a candy guy, man.
This is some
Luckily.
fiend level stuff, though.
No,
Yeah.
like I'm
It's
telling you.
it's real.
I
man.
believe it. I believe it, man.
You'll take your first bite into a fast break and just be like,
I'm gonna have to try one. Now. I haven't had
satisfying.
it. I haven't had one, but
What's a fast break? Is it like
it's right
that,
there.
That's-
That candy right there.
Don't-
That,
I don't, dude. I don't.
see,
like,
see how hard I tried not to eat the whole thing, and this is from yesterday.
yeah. But dude, like, I'm glad I'm not a sugar guy, man. What helped me stop drinking it and kind of weird that was these liquid deaths, man. Like, cause they still have that burn, like kind of like a beer does, that gives you that little bubble.
I went through that phase too, but I was drinking their teas.
I like their teas,
likes
but I
their
like
teas.
like how they feel. It's kind of weighted like a tall can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it paid off because I like to drink the IPAs, and they're the same thing as they're same shape, same can, same ounces.
Yeah.
So I would sit there and I'd be drinking the rat, and I'm like 2 for $5. Why not? The same thing
Yeah.
as 2 beers.
Yeah.
It's that help a little bit healthier.
Right. All right. Because we're gonna get into some hobbies besides eating candy. What else do you do?
Oh man. What else do I like? Gosh, I feel like I don't know. I want to start writing graffiti again.
Oh, really?
For my midlife crisis. Like,
Did you do the big like hit ups, like the big bombs?
I
or-
was never that nasty, but it was like but it was just kind of like part and parcel with being a skateboarder. You
Yeah.
always like wrote something and had a little black book. But now I'm kind of like I kind of have a little black book, and my wife's an artist, so she has like a whole bunch of like the Posca good like paint markers. So I'm like kind of like working. I'm like, all right, maybe. And I know a few people who write, and I'm like, should I just be like, yo, you know, like a low key like spot we could go hit up? Because I've always loved. I remember, like, I was first drawn to it, like taking the train into New York City and like kind of the writers I would see up, like, and they're like these two guys, Pen and Shine, and just like the way they did their E's, and like they're just like simple throw ups, like black and white throw ups, but like it was just like synonymous with like I'm going into the city to skate, and like I'm looking like at the graffiti and like the train line on my way in.
The 90s were hardcore like graffiti time for me, man. Like just getting up all the time. I used to climb up billboards and everything, but scary. I look at them now and I'm like, I can't believe I climbed. Like there's one on Woodward Boulevard where I'm like, I can't believe I was up there.
That's kind of how I feel when I look at rails I've skated. But what else? I like to read a lot. And then parenting's a hobby.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
you got your son. How old is he?
I got 2. I got 7. He's going to be 7 in September. That's Logan. And then Isaiah, he turned 2 in May, so he's like 2.5.
You brought the 7-year-old yesterday, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he was at the skate park, you know. I don't know. Was he having a good time?
Yeah. He was having a good time.
Yeah, I seen that he dropped in a little bit on on the bump.
That was the first time. Yeah, I was hyped because he likes the scooter. But it's kind of, I accept it because he could like handle himself in a skate park, like go down like all like the flat banks and the ramps on it. So I'm like kind of hyped I could just take him out skating with me. But I'm trying to like plant the seed, but he's like me, so he's like real defiant, and he's like verbatim told me like, I don't want to skate, Dad, because that's your thing.
Damn, so that's crazy.
Right. But I kind of saw the spark a little bit too. Like when he rolled down that bump at LP, like he had his arms out, and then once he realized he wasn't gonna fall, so I'm like, he put his arms at his side. I'm like, oh, dude, he just like checked his arm steez. Like that's a good sign.
Yeah, he checked his arm steez. He's like, yeah, I want to look like I know what I'm doing.
You're not riding like.
Yeah.
What do you think about the dad life? Like, how is it for you?
It's I love it, and it's challenging, especially you know, my son, like, he's diagnosed like high functioning autistic, but it's like where he is on the spectrum, it's that like he appears like totally normal until like something sets him off, and then he's not, and it's a total nightmare to deal with. So it's like for me, and like people will see him, you know, acting out, and they don't understand how I'm responding so like calmly and like mellow, and how I'm like handling the situation. So that's been a challenge. And just like kind of learning patience, like understanding, like, I don't know, like, you know, that like, yeah, he's a kid, but he's also like an autonomous human being with like his wants and needs and emotions, and it's not just, you know, he could be having a bad day. It's like tough, like dealing with teachers.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, they got their own little personalities, and
Yeah.
you know, like you would think like, oh, I want to be able to him just to do what I tell him to do, but then they got this thing in them that they already want to just like kind of, you know, battle back a little bit. You know, it's like,
yeah, and I have to accept it. But no, it's like, you know, we have a really good relationship. And it's like he's really smart, but not kind of like the, oh, my kid's so smart, to where it's like a problem how smart he is, because he tries to like, you know, he can interact and like have a conversation on like an adult level, like with an adult, and it's like kind of a lot, but then like I was a lot, so it was also kind of like it coming back to me. It's just cool, like, you know, he's a rad little dude. He says the funniest stuff sometimes. It's like I couldn't even like begin
how they figure or why they say the things they say, man.
Yeah. And then the 2-year-old Isaiah, he's like really cool too, and like his own, they're very different. Like even in the way like Logan he's really quiet and like introspective as a baby, and like Isaiah is like more bubbly. Logan was like definitely like has like more intelligence, but like Isaiah is like he's gonna be gnarly, because he's like super like has a very like good awareness of his body for like a 2-year-old, and then like Logan just like tunes him up so he's gonna be tougher than him. So it's like it's rad.
That's cool.
It's cool.
Dude, shout out to parenting.
And that's cool that you got 2 boys, and you know the older one could watch out for the younger one, or they could always just be together.
I don't even know if it's gonna be like that. I think it's more like you could get like the younger one to like do his whip bidding for him.
You never know. You never know. Yeah.
I mean, because they sound like they're about the same age as me and my brother.
Yeah.
Because we're 5 years apart, and they're what, 4?
Yeah. They're about 4.5 years apart.
Yeah, so like me and him, we grew up with a great sibling relationship, but we did bump heads a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, to this day, I'm like in my 30s and he's about to be 30. We're just
It's like a
we compliment each other, you know. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, dude, I'm about to go to this gnarly waterfall and jump. You want to go? I'll be right there with you."
Yeah, I could see. I could see that. But yeah, no, it's rad. I mean, my favorite thing right now is when like on the days I pick the little one up for daycare is like when he sees me, he just starts like booking towards me, and like nothing beats that feeling.
That's cool.
That's awesome,
dude. Amazing, dude. You guys got any questions before we get out of here?
Peralta, you got any question?
So like I said, I thought you were a pro, and I still think you are, you know, from the things you've told us. I feel like I've seen you, but like I said, like growing through those experiences of like skating with the people you got to skate, like how would you say those affected you, like with your skating to where it's at now? Like did it motivate it more? Did it push it more? Or was it more just like nonchalant, like I'm just skating with the homies?
Like both. I think to this day I hold myself to like from now like my age an unreasonable standard of like how I should be skating. Like watching like you guys skate like that rail at LP and just like, oh man, if it was like 2006, like I'd be in that, like, you know, like it's kind of hard not to feel like that. And I feel like you know, there's a part of me that goes like, yeah, like take me to a gnarly rail, like let's go to the set, like, you know, there's a part of me. But there's also kind of like, well, wait, maybe like, you know, there's other things I could do that like look cool, that are cool and difficult on a skateboard, but aren't as like visually shocking to see, like a kickflip 50 down a rail or something like that. And I try to focus on like doing stuff like that and still challenging myself. But I think the biggest thing is that like I hold myself to like a really high standard of skating, you know, to the point to where it's like, oh, I have to redo that. I don't like the way my foot looked. I don't like the way like I held my arm, or like I didn't look like I was in control. And I still like, even if I'm like getting a clip on like a curb, like I still hold myself to like that standard. So I think that's like the biggest impact, just kind of coming through like where like how I like my experience with skateboarding, like how it shapes me, but also being able to like enjoy it, you know, and having to like remind myself that it's like, hey man, you can still like get a lot of enjoyment out of skating. And like you don't have to go like, you don't need to compete with anyone like right now. Your skateboarding doesn't need to be on like any level than like what you want it to be.
Right.
So it's kind of like trying to get more into that, but like, you know, and having people that are still down for it, you know, like having my homie Ed, like, you know, he films a lot for Pawn, and it's like, we're working on a project in October. We got to get some clips, and that like people are still like fired up and like hyped on how I skate enough to want to go like film with me, and having me like as a part is like super motivating. But it's like tough too, because I have to like, you know, think about it a little harder. Like, what am I gonna do that's like looks good on a skateboard? Or I can't just like go like skate something big that's immediately like gonna be like, I have to be like kind of like like the spot selection gets a little more difficult.
Yeah.
I feel like I can take that as advice, because you know, you said you messed up your ACL. I've already gone through 2 meniscus surgeries, and I kind of see like that when I go to skate with like, especially with these guys, like, and we hit spots and I'm like, man, I know I can go and do flip in, flip out this, or I could kick flip this big set, but then I'm sitting there and thinking about it, just like I said, you know, my knees. Maybe there is something else I can do that just to the new level, the new way of skateboarding I'm learning right now, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that felt like what you just said was like it kind of hit and it gave me like a way to like advice because
Yeah.
I'm still trying to beat that in my head like. Or sometimes I'm like, oh, like, because these guys call me team manager, and I'm like, I'm not team manager, but...
Oh, yeah, watch this.
But then they're like, you go out and do the crook, and I'm like, I was like, dude, if I were in my prime, I'd school you, but with bad knees, you know, you can... one day you're on, one day you're off.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is, like, not knowing how I'm going to feel. Like, I could have, like, one day where, like, everything is just, like, feels good, like, and... some days, like, it's mostly in my head, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny. I used to, like, at that hip at the Covina skate park, like, I was kind of, like, Mickey Mousing my tricks over it, I felt like. And there was a time when it felt fine, and then, like, I slammed, like, real hard on it. And then, like, after that, and, like, I was like, oh, wait, like, no. Like, and that kind of, you know how, like, you'll like kick out more than you should. And
yeah.
That kind of like taking that slam kind of like brought me back to normal. So sometimes.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you take that slam and you're like, all right, I just need to get through those first minute of just like stiffness pains, as I call it.
Yeah.
Like you're stiff and you're feeling the jolts, but then once you get into that like adrenaline rush and you're like, all right, I'm back to me back in early 2000.
Oh, and it takes me forever to warm up now.
Yeah.
I have a rule now where like I need to skate the skate park or if I'm at a skate park, like I have to like skate the skate park for 5 minutes without touching my tail before I try a trick.
It's like you're just cruising around right into the ramps. I go through the same thing, man. My warm up is riding the bowls, kind of pumping back and forth, rock to fakie. So and then I start building up. Oh, rock to fakie, all the way up the bank. Okay, cool, and then we're getting there.
Yeah, same thing. I don't stretch or nothing because one time I started stretching out because I saw everybody doing it and then I pulled something. I was like, dude, what the hell? Just stick to my routine. Like I'll roll around like you said and then not click the tail until you start feeling like your legs are actually warming up. But like I feel like I'm warming up like 20 minutes later. By the time I'm warmed up and then I got maybe another 20 minutes of skating. And I'll get all my 3 tricks in and then I'm done.
The window.
And I'm hoping all the homies are there on time so I can skate with them because usually I show up first.
Oh yeah, I always skate early, especially now that it's hot out. Like I either skate like super early, and then by the time it's like sundown, I'm like tired.
Yeah, I used to be a night skater when I was drinking, and now I'm a early bird now, so it seems to be working out for me. Listo, anything else?
Yeah, I got a question. I got a few questions actually. Who would you like to see next on the show?
Ooh.
I'd like to see Denzel White on the show. I'd love to hear, because he's told me some stories about what it was like for him and how he grew up skating like in this area. I'd love to see him on here. That would be sick.
Like him get more in depth into his story.
And I remember seeing Denzel back when I first started skating, like in 2005, 2006, and he was shredding like dude active and like other utility and dude always since day one killing it. And now like we're like cool friends and stuff. We always run into each other at the pawn shop events, and I feel like that'll be a good one too. Good one to have on the show.
Was he there yesterday at the thing?
Nah,
he was at I think he was at the one at Covina Park, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Covina and Garvanza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the Covina one, so that was cool.
Okay, I got another question. If you could spend a day with a celebrity, a whole full day, who would it be?
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
The crazy bold question right there. I pulled that
probably
one out.
Robert De Niro. So I could ask him about like the early Scorsese films, like Taxi Driver and like Raging Bull, like when it was all like gnarly.
I just watched Casino last night too.
Yeah, Casino.
We just showed it to my buddy for his first time, and he was like, "Wow, that was one of the greatest movies ever."
Now, what was it like? I kind of like watched The Irishman. I watched The Irishman the other day, and it was kind of like it's Robert De Niro, but it's like, dude, you've been doing this character for like 30 years, But like, it's like the same dude.
It's
but
the
like,
same dude, same face.
Yeah.
Like, does that? I don't know. I feel like I could look like it, but I don't look like it. But yeah.
It's like that dude, Hector, the gangster guy that plays Hector in every movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Like, he's always like the same dude. And
Pretty much, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more question.
Okay.
So what's next? I think we asked him this, but what's next for you? What do you got planned coming up? Or
Oh man, just keep skating. Try to find some new spots, you know. Get clips like skate wise, like hopefully get out with the boys, get some stuff for this new pond project. You know, I have a pretty corporate, like work wise, I have a pretty corporate job, so I help the shop out with a lot of like their business stuff. And you know, there's some cool stuff that's in the works that's going to be coming out over the next few months that I'm super excited to be a part of.
And this is like kind of collabing with what you do for a job.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad. Okay.
So I mean, just kind of like I work in like legal, so like just kind of legal and like corporate business structure and things like that.
That's amazing that whatever you're doing that can help them out as well. You know?
Yeah, no, that's super cool. So there's like a lot of like cool, like really rad stuff that's going to be coming out like over the next couple months.
Like
to a year.
would it be something like, say you needed to work, like if you needed to work with a brand, do you like maybe work with trying to clear it or something like that, or because I don't, maybe you don't like can't say too much about it.
I can't really talk about like what's going on for the shop, but like hypothetically say like you wanted to turn Where the Locals Sk8 into an LLC with a business structure, with an operating agreement for a few owners, and then trademark the name, like I'd be able to do that.
Okay, now we exactly know where to go now. Awesome. This is why I love, dude. Skateboarding is so amazing that there's always somebody in that does something in somewhere. Yeah,
networking.
Dude, it's so cool, man. Yeah. Real quick, is there a dream spot maybe you want to hit? Even travel out of the country, maybe.
Take the family, maybe vacation.
Oh, what's a dream spot? Oh man. I can't even think. Like, I always feel like skating's so not planned out for me. Like, I want to skate. Oh, do you know what I'd like? I'd like to skate like downtown, the jail bank to ledge. I'd like an hour there.
The one at the towers.
I'd like an hour there to film something because we went there. It was crazy too. Like Logan was there, like riding down the thing on his scooter. Like it was a wild session, and we got like maybe like 20, 25 minutes.
And they kick you out? Is that the deal?
Yeah, but they were chill about it. Like the guys were like, they were cops, but they came like, yeah, when we got, because it's not owned by the jail anymore. It's owned by a private company that calls like I keep like smashing the mic. It's like, it doesn't like come through on the sound, but, and like when they come over, like, yeah, we used to skate. Why don't you guys have some fun? So we walk slow, but like you have to take off. And like,
yeah.
So it was kind of like, it's not as hot as it used to be. And like, I'll try if it's like 4th of July, I'll like hit, like I want, like there's something I want to film there that's like in that spot that's really hasn't been done there. And I'm pretty sure I could do it. And I'd want it like an hour to 2 hours there.
Yeah, like a holiday, huh? Yeah. Right, where there's nobody out there.
Yeah.
We attempted to do something like that with the marble ledges.
Mm-hmm.
We had knobbed them. Came back Thanksgiving Day to skate them because we're like, all right, Thanksgiving, no one's gonna be here. Within the 2 days that we knobbed them, they were knobbed up again.
Oh, DWP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went there and literally just knocked all the knobs off the ledges. 2 days later, come back, they're all back
they're on.
I would have put them back on, but like maybe super glue, like just something you can crack off when you come back.
Well, no, we got busted right away.
Yeah.
Because we were making a lot of noise, you know, whacking them off with the hammer and everything.
But yeah, like if you do take off knobs, like just put them back temporarily, so when you come back,
with a little Elmer's glue.
Yeah,
so
they look like
smart.
Yeah. That way, you know, you don't take them with you. You know, then they come back and then like, oh, of course, and then they knobbed it even more better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we couldn't put the knobs down either because
you destroyed them.
We destroyed them. Yeah, they were all warped, and you know they're gonna be like, well, something.
Yeah.
You got to come up with like some extra ones.
Yeah, I just started because all like my friends like just like from P2 I've helped out like, you know, on a couple pours there, but like there's a few spots I want to fix, you know, because like the last 2 times I've gotten hurt, it's been because of like old bad Bondo jobs.
Yeah.
And I need to like, because my like, you know, I'm like, fuck it, like I'll figure it out, like I'll be able to. Oh, that's the first time I cussed, but like
it's all good. We're almost done.
Yeah. But like, yeah.
I said one earlier too.
That's like another like kind of, it's like up there with like don't like hit your tail the first 10 minutes at the skate park. It's like, if the bondo's bad, fix it before you skate it. Because the last 2 times, like, I got smoked. It hasn't been my fault.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I just watched the whole Love Park thing where I didn't know you could fix the ledges with JB Weld.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched that and I was like, why didn't I think of that years ago?
Yeah.
I used to mess with JB Weld all the time, and I'm like, perfect way to put the notches back into ledges.
Yeah.
Anything else, Listo?
I think that's pretty much what my questions for now. Yeah.
All right. Let's give them the crazy question before we get out of here. We got one more that you pick from the bowl and see what we get today.
I'll mix it up. Let's see. All right, let's get this one.
Let's see what this says.
Oh, can I pick another one?
Sure.
Yeah, we've already answered this. So you could have any skateboard you want.
Oh, in your collection. All right, pick another one. Yeah.
So I don't want to.
It's the first.
That's a first, yeah.
Another one. I already answered this one.
This one's whack. If you could get your own skate shoe, what company is making it? Oh, dude, it's America for sure.
Yeah.
So I could put that big green America sticker on the nose of my board,
Ooh.
and I've always like wanted to do that, but I have like a rule, like I'm not gonna like rep someone that's not like hooking it up, you know?
Okay.
So like I haven't been able to
Sticker.
do that. And
Okay.
I've always wanted to have that America sticker on the nose of my board, so that's what I'm going with.
Well,
So
what's up,
America.
America?
What? And
Put it out there.
would you want your own shoe? Would you want to design your own shoe? Or would you
If I
want
had to
colorway?
pick a company, it would be that, and it would look like the Leo Romero 2s, because if you're listening to America, I've never had another skate shoe since 2011.
Wow.
I got the clips to back it up.
That's dope. That's dope. That's what I like to see, man. The people that want to, like, if say somebody wants to be sponsored by Baker, and they're over here Baker, but then they're riding a different board. You're like, well, why would Baker want to back you up if you're not even buying the product or supporting the product? So yeah, dude, that's amazing. Like I felt the same way though. I was rocking, like, I bought like a mystery box from Grizzly Grip, and it came with the T-shirt, and I used Mob, so I felt like I was kind of like, you know, like I shouldn't be rocking this shirt. I don't even use the grip. So I that's when I decided to do my own branding, doing skate show. So I'm like, I just rep myself until maybe one day somebody wants to come up and sponsor. But I do support other skate brands as well. But I would rock only what I use. Pretty much, you know?
Yeah, or like shirt wise, like, you know, I'm not gonna rock, like, I skate indies, but I'm not gonna like wear an indie shirt and like advertise them for free. I'm buying my trucks.
Yeah, I get it.
I think the only way to do that is if Indy started making indie lows again.
Yeah.
Because that's all I ride, and I think I may have one of the last pairs.
I don't even know. Like, even when they got canceled, I used to like how they had like the iron cross on the base plate, because you just like slide it off. I feel like, I don't know, but that's definitely not for this time of the podcast to get into that conversation.
Yeah, man. We'll save it for the next one, part 2. You have any shout outs before we get out of here?
Oh man, everyone who rocks with me. My wife, my kids, the Piscopos, Pawn Shop, all my homies from New York, Doug and Second Nature, my parents, my sister, James and Jake. Happy birthday, James and Jake. I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, thank you for coming, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Listo, shout outs?
I got some shout outs. Shout out number 1, God. Shout out my family, my mom and dad. Shout out to my mom. She's in the hospital right now, but she had a bad cough, you know, but she'll be all right. Okay. Hopefully, you know, I'm probably going to go see her later today. Went last night, you know, she was doing okay. Shout out to my friends out to lunch. Peralta putting in work. Gabe, Rudy, you know, Miguel, and the new skateboarder in the sessions. And, yeah, shout out to Where the Locals Sk8. Shout out Ben coming down, sharing your story, you know, got to know a little bit more of you. And hopefully to see you at the skate park.
For sure. We'll skate. Yeah. We'll skate soon for sure.
Oh, yeah, we gotta meet up at La Habra.
Yeah. I'll hit you up.
Yeah.
We'll do that La Habra session.
For sure. Peralta?
Shout out to Lisa's mom. He told me yesterday, so, you know, worried for her. Glad she's doing good now, recovery. Yeah. You know, when he told me, you know, I called them joking around, and then he told me something serious, so first thing in my mind, you know, hopefully your mom's doing good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then shout out to, like we said, the Off the Lunch Squad. They're all putting in work. San Bernardino was not easy yesterday at 101 degrees, but they killed it. Shout out to my family for putting up with my BS and still supporting me and, you know, pushing me to get to where I'm at. Shout out to Where the Locals Sk8. Ben, cool finding me. And yeah, I always see you on Instagram. I cannot not forget that name ever when I should see it. And then I still think you're a pro skater. You're just hiding it.
Gotta find this board.
But yeah,
Alright.
shout out to that.
Oh, my bad. Is there footage we could find, like, of you, like, from back in the day on YouTube?
You just gave us a whole catalog earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah, but, like, right now for, like, new footage. Or no?
Like you like older stuff?
Oh, not like older stuff, but, like, now, like...
Are you putting anything new on YouTube now?
There's nothing new on YouTube. The new like you'll see like anything news on my Instagram. now.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you know where they'll be dropping the pawn shop video when it's done?
I don't even know. I just Ed just told me to like we need to get some clips for it. So it's probably gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be like just an Instagram thing or if it's gonna be on their YouTube channel.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely be on the lookout for that and
For
support
sure.
that for
Can't
sure.
wait to see it.
Yeah,
sure.
man, we
Shout out.
definitely support what you're doing out there, and we love watching you skate, man. You're killing it, dude. It's
Dude, thank you. That
it's
means
really
a lot.
awesome,
Thank
and
you for having me.
yeah,
on the
dude.
show.
Again, dude, thank you for coming down, man. It's amazing to hear your story and share it out with everybody. Of course, I got to thank the guys behind the ones and twos today for holding it down. Thank you both for showing up today. Appreciate that. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, everybody that subscribes to our channel, everybody that gives us a like and leaves a comment. If you or you know somebody that wants to be on the show, don't be scared. Hit us up. And please share the show out too. Tell a friend. You know, we'd love to have more people engage with our show here, and you know, hopefully we can see more people, more local skaters out there on the show as well. So again, thank you everybody. Thank you to our guests today, Ben, Allen. Make sure to go follow him, 1991_2_infinity, and go support Pawn Shop as well. Go check out the new location in Pomona if you can, and don't be scared to go inside the shop and say hello. And I guess till next week, I'm OG Skate Show. Peace out, everybody. Peace.